What's going on, everybody? This is Dave from Post Rock Promo. I'm here with a dot in the sky from Kolkata, West Bengal, India. How's it going, guys?
Hey
Hey,
Dave,
it's
how are
going.
you? It's going,
Yeah.
it's not going too great. I would not say. This is Annie from A Dot in the Sky, the vocalist of the band. It's not going too well, as you are aware of the news all over the world, especially from India. So we are trying to cope up with the situation in these trying times. We are not so well, but trying to be well, trying to get all the positivity out of all the negative words, negative situation. Over to you guys.
Yeah, same as what Annie said.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
same as what Annie said. The situation was getting a bit better, but now it's even worse than the first wave. So yeah, the corona thing hit us like even harder this time, and we are trying to cope up with everything. Leaving aside the negativity, all the negativity, we are trying to cope up with everything as well as we can.
Hope that it will end soon.
Yeah.
Waiting for that.
Mhm.
So that we have a lot of time to practice now. So that's one positive thing
Yeah.
to look at. Yeah.
Very cool. So when and how did you guys form?
Okay, so the story of the formation, Shudipto, will you continue or should I say which one?
Yeah.
Because he's the founder
Sure.
member of the band.
Yeah, it was all started in 2015. So as my bedroom project. So that time I composed and written few songs and made few ambient post-rock soundtrack. So, and it was all kept in my hard drive in 2015. And later in 2016, I approached Annie to sing in this band. I was planning to make a band in 2016. Then I approached Annie, Shautrik, Shubho, Deepayan. So in 2016, we formed this band, and we have like 9 single released till now. Yes.
So one thing I would like to add over here. So this is our band, of course, and back in 2016, in those early days of A Dot in the Sky, the setup was different because, as we know, that bands are always facing this hard times. Members are there and members are gone, and they came in. So the stuffs are happened over here too. So there is a small A Dot in the Sky family. Our ex guitarist and drummer and bassist are there. They are into the family. They are with us, but due to some issues or their personal work, they left us. So yeah, this is the band. This is a family. So this is I think it's a permanent family of us. What say, guys? What's a Deepa and Shubham?
Yeah, I am the latest addition of the family.
Latest and the best edition and the best edition.
It's
I
checking.
don't know about the best, but yeah, I'm the latest addition to this family. And yeah, it's going great ever since. And this happened during the lockdown, the post lockdown around
Post-lockdown.
August of last year. So I was quite
Yeah.
happy because I finally got to get out of my house and go play drums with where there were other human beings who were musicians. So yeah, that was a fun thing for me.
I joined in early 2019, in April of 2019. That's when I joined. Shautrik actually, who is actually checking his mic right now. So yeah, he introduced me to the band, and then from there it's been a wonderful journey, and I hope that we can make it to the big stage and all. That's the big dream.
Very cool.
Is Rodrik here?
Yeah,
Shautrik is here?
He just said mic check.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you, Dave?
So you guys released Undiscovered last month. How's the response been?
The response was good. So the last release, that is Change. Am I right, guys? Change is our last release,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we have got pretty good response with Change because Rolling Stone India, they have featured us, and that was definitely one surprising factor for us. We have got a lot of responses regarding this Change. I met one person today. Yeah. yeah, we all. So we there is one band is called Silence of, I just cannot remember, the person is called Fred. He just texted me last night that I just love your last release, that is Change. Have you recited that one? Who is behind this all originality of stuff, or this whole musical project? So he was talking about Change. The person is from France. So yes, we got pretty good response regarding Change, and we've got the attention of Rolling Stone India as well. And yeah, but I hope Dave, that this genre, this post rock and ambient genre, this is still so much grounded. I mean, not that much of popular genre in the world. I hope that that's why you are also helping all the bands all over the world. So for that reason, though we like this genre, we are into it. The mastermind is definitely Shudipto Paul. It is his bedroom project, his brain child. But we are getting good responses around the globe. I mean, pretty good responses. Not that much huge, but pretty good. Yeah.
Very cool. So who'd you record it with, and how was the process?
Oh well, that time Dipayan was there. I don't. You there, right?
Yeah.
When Change happened.
So
Yeah.
that was the
Yeah,
first time we did. We recorded the drums at my place.
For the
Yeah,
first
just-
time, we
There's
recorded live drums in
La-
Deepan's room.
Mhm.
Yes.
It
Yeah. So
was an
that
amazing
was fun.
experience.
Normally,
Apart from that, all the recording process happens at Shrutituda's place.
yeah.
So
I
he
have a
does
small
everything.
house, so we recorded
Yeah, so
here.
that's how normally it starts. Like Shivpada, he would come up with a basic arrangement of everything. Like he would just arrange the entire song, and then he would like, okay, you're the bass player, complete the bass. You're the guitar player, complete the guitars, and we just pitch in our ideas. Like everybody talks about this and that. Like what should be done next? Like how should the vocals go? How should the guitars go? Bass go? And it's to be honest, it's just an all in all effort. It starts at the helm with the captain, and then we just like.
Yes. So I just want to tell you about that process of that, the lyrics. I mean, it's not lyrics actually. Basically, it's a quite small write-up I have written during the lockdown. Suddenly, by seeing all the condition of the world, the people are dying. We are getting, helpless, hopeless. That what we are going to do? How will we earn and something? So being a singer-songwriter, sometimes I write, and of course definitely Shudipto Paul is there, who is writing all the stuffs behind our band. So I'm just there's a couple of lines came into my mind, couple of lines, and I was writing down in a just a simple paper. It was not jotted down with the idea of we will do some work, just in a random pace. I was just thinking about the present condition. I was just writing down those lines, and suddenly I asked my band, that we have a small group like every other band. So I was discussing, can we do something, guys, with this lines? And people said yes, a very good lines. I mean, you have came up with a good write-up. So why?
Really amazing. Very wonderful lines.
Yes. Shudipto Paul said that those lines were great. So he said that, why don't you do something? I mean, why we can proceed with something. So I thought of not making a full-fledged song, and let's make it some different, like do with some let's recite, and let's do some other couple of things. And then all of the members, they came up with that Change, and definitely we have got a pretty much good responses after this. So yeah, over to you, Dave. And our bassist, he's here, so you can continue with him, of course.
Very cool. So you guys are from India. How's the scene there? Do you have a favorite local band, a favorite venue?
Right
Anyone?
now in Kolkata, there's this one venue that we performed and we loved it a lot. That was Popcorn. To be
I
honest,
think I'll
that
just
is
switch my headphone once. The audio is a little muffled on this one. So you guys continue. I'll just switch my headphone and come back.
Yeah.
oh yeah, sure. So there's this one place called Tomcat over here, which is definitely like till now we have performed in a lot of places, and that is probably one of our favorites that we have performed in. And like obviously we want to perform like, in India. Like this place called Whitefield in Bangalore. It just hosts huge like shows and all, live shows. In Shillong there is another concert. I can't remember the name right now, but that is one more where
It's a weekender, Bakari weekender.
NH7, that happens all over
NH7.
all over India, but there is
All
one
right.
in particular that happens in Shillong. I can't remember the name, but
Hornbill
probably.
Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is one more.
Mhm.
And so that these are places that we do want to perform. And we did perform in this festival recently. Yeah, show this back.
Yeah, we have performed in a lot of fests, like college fest. The one food festival was here, that was Gruff Fest last year. And there is a place called Top Cat. Top Cat is a very top of the town place of Kolkata.
And
All the independent
that's like a
musicians.
go-to place for independent music.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
all the shows
That's
for
the
independent music happens there.
Where
that's
you
the
can
indie
play
hub. That's the
music,
indie
yeah.
hub in
That's
Kolkata.
the India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And not just music. There's all kinds of debates taking place over there, talk shows and things that
Stand-up
are not really a big part or not really inclined to the mainstream. Things like that. They call it a cultural hub. It kind of speaks for itself.
So that is
So
one of
those
the
are
places that we really enjoyed performing, because the people also they really wanna hear music that is musical. I would say I don't know how should I put it, like they do wanna hear music rich music. If that
Yeah.
makes some sort of sense, because
So we were previously talking
yeah.
about the Bollywood scene. So so Calcutta is a place, not only Calcutta, India is a place which is like a Bollywood heavy. It has a Bollywood heavy music scenario here. People has to perform all the Bollywood songs for them to get recognized. So if there are any venues who are promoting independent music, that is very rare. That's why we all are ranting
Right,
about,
right.
as in we are
And normally
all are
people
talking
just
about
want
Top Cat.
covers. Yeah, people just want covers of like Bollywood songs. But here we can perform our own music, something that we have written. It's our baby, and we wanna perform that song. So it's just a wonderful venue. We really like.
right.
So we are almost running out of venues where we can perform independent music. And Top Cut is like, at this point of time, Top Cut is one of those venues where we can do that.
Right.
Just
Even with the live shows, when the bands are playing concerts and everything, apart from the bands who are incredibly popular, talking about bands like us, we are putting out good music. People know us, but having said that, we are not the top of the tier in terms of popularity. So the thing is, like, for bands like us, there's like a requirement for the most of the shows that we play. It's like the club gigs that take place in the US or pretty much everywhere else, that you got to play the popular numbers, the top 40 pop, or incredibly popular songs like ABBA or Boney M, or all that stuff. So it's like that. For in college shows, we have to play a lot of Bollywood, not just us, but pretty much a lot of bands who just have to. But that's kind of like a compromise, but not there's a good side to it as well. You actually have a choice of rearranging the thing and sculpt it according to your sound. But yeah, that's pretty much the scenario with the college gigs and stuff like that. So yeah, Top Cat is like the go-to indie hub, and the shows that we enjoyed playing the most, we played 2 at Top Cat. So those were, I mean, the 2 of our best shows.
Yes,
Keeping
yes.
Grub Fest, the
Gruff
Grub
Fest,
Fest in
right.
mind as
Gruff
well.
Fest, yeah.
And coming to
That
the
was
next
very
question,
electrifying.
Yeah, and coming to the next question that you asked about, like the band, because we all come from very different genres. Like I personally started with heavy metal and all, and then I gradually came to funk and like all this disco, and then came to post rock and all. So there are like millions of bands that we individually all follow, and it's a very good thing that I personally like in this band, that everybody has their different origins, and like it's somehow just melds into one thing, and it has this unique sound. That's why I do feel like ADTS post rock is not just post rock. This is what I feel. I know I might sound a little more pride-ish right now, but yeah, it is something that I really like feel proudly about, that our sound is kind of unique. Like it's because it has like so many different origins. Like we listen to Opeth, we listen to Mogwai, we listen to Sigur Rós, we listen to Megadeth. Megadeth came to India, I cried over them. So anyway, we like so many different genres meant into one, and then it just comes out. I believe wonderful. That's what I feel.
That's
Anybody else?
awesome.
Thank you.
So who are your biggest influences?
All of the different influencers. So you just start with Sudipta Paul. Yeah, you said, yeah.
My influences are like Steven Wilson, Mogwai, Dream Theater I like. So, yeah, there are a lot of bands. I like them.
Deepayo.
Fun fact, when I was like starting out with playing drums, and Sudiptodar and I, we are from the same locality. So I used to hear his name, and there was this other guy who used to say, there is only one guy in our locality who can cover Dream Theater songs, and that was him. And cut to 10 years later, I'm playing with this guy. So yeah, it's a nice thing.
Mhm.
And at
For
this
me,
point
it's
of time, I'm not listening to as many bands as I should. I'm mostly listening to drummers and their projects.
Mhm.
There's this drummer called Tommy Igo, and there's this drummer called I don't know if you've heard him. His name is Chris Coleman. There's Benny Grape. There's Matt Garska. He's like one of my favorite drummers. And there's JP Bouvet. I'm listening their projects. And I was also listening this tiny desk concert of there's this NPR thing which happens there. I was
Yeah.
listening to a Snarky Puppy concert today.
Right.
So I'm more into artist oriented bands or setups.
Yeah. So if you ask me, from post-rock ambient, I would definitely say Sigur Rós, Hammock, that we are following and listening much. Myself, definitely. And as Shubhojit said, the guitarist, that we have the different influences. We all are from different genres, different background. So being I hope you have heard about that Indian classical, and I was more into Western classical as well. I love Celine Dion. I mean, she has given a lot of influence to me. She put a huge what should I say, positive vibe to me every time I used to listen. I hope Celine Dion. So Celine, I am a big fan of Celine Dion. Still I try to caricature all of her songs, because very difficult. I mean, she's one of the I think goddess of the Western vocal. So Celine Dion is always my favorite. Then there are a lot of other pop bands, the boy bands from 80s and 90s I used to listen to a lot. So now these days, I have discovered post-rock and ambient from the year 2017 that I've joined the band. From then, I would definitely say I'm listening a lot of ambient project, So last day I have discovered Faimi, Sasha Sloan, and these are the favorite artists of mine these days from ambient. And of course, the bands from this post-rock, like I mentioned Sigur Rós and Hammock. These are God is an Astronaut. These are the favorite bands of mine. Yeah. Over to you guys. Yeah.
So as I said, I started with really big four, all those big four bands, Metallica, Megadeth, all that. Slowly I came into that 90s.
Same pinch there.
Yeah, exactly. Me and Shotrik.
Not Slayer and Anthrax, not much of Slayer
no.
and Anthrax, but Metallica and Megadeth for sure.
I just heard Raining Blood. That's the only song I think I have heard.
Somehow couldn't get into Slayer, even if I tried.
Yeah, so me and Shotrik, we do have a lot of common bands that we like. Like this one band that we are blind fans of. It's Wolfpack, and we are we listen to it almost. I listen to it almost every day. That is one of the bands that I almost listen to every day. Then coming from metal, I came to this 90s punk and grunge rock and Green Day, Blink 182, My Chemical Romance, all this kind of songs. And then slowly a little more into instrumental music, started listening to multiple guitar players like Andy James, Beanie, and I can't even stop naming them. There's so many things that I have tried to listen to. And after coming to post rock, Mogwai is one of the first band that I heard. Caspian is one of the bands that I heard. Sigur Rós is one more band that and there were so many songs that we always send songs in the group. Whenever we come up, whenever we come up to a good song, oh, this is a very good song. Let's just share it in the group, and just from there.
Yeah.
Too many. I can't even remember the bands. There's so many bands that we've listened.
Yeah, so many bands. Yeah.
So, as influence, it started with metal, came to rock, punk, and
now it's post-rock and
now
ambient,
it's everything together and just trying to make the best out of it.
Shotrik, you want to say something regarding that?
Yeah, of course. In terms of influences, the first set of influences that grow over to everyone is what you get to listen to in the household. So it was mostly 70s Bollywood and 80s Bollywood in the early days when we were growing up, because those kind of things played. Rabindra Sangeet, I mean, songs of Tagore, of course.
Yeah.
So that's what we got to listen to in our households. Pretty much everyone, I'm sure about that.
Yes,
and
yes, absolutely.
old Bengali film songs, and then the popular artists that even our parents used to listen to, like Elton John
Mhm.
or Billy Idol, all these popular artists. We weren't really open to, neither were my parents open to all kinds of niche. There are a lot of people that I talk to who are like of my parents' age, and they used to listen to all these wonderful bands and music that we came to like later on as we grew up. They used to listen to that since the 70s or the 80s because they had access to that kind of thing. Our parents were inclined to different stuff, but as days went by, in the school days, I had this guy in my neighborhood who was senior to me, of course, and he actually introduced me to a lot of music eventually. Bruce Springsteen and all, Brian Adams, and later on I listened to Metallica. I was in the ninth standard back then. It was back in 2009. I still remember the song. It was Fuel by Metallica, of the album called Reload. And I was like, what is this going on? That was the heaviest music, and I didn't even know. That guy used to play acoustic guitar, and then I saw this live performance, James Hetfield playing that, and that was distorted guitars. I heard distorted guitars in video games and stuff like that, that stuff, but I always thought that was coming out of keyboards or something else. I never knew. For me, the guitar sound was the acoustic guitar sound, but then I saw that these four guys were playing and they were just, setting everything on fire. And there was a phase. Then I started researching about Metallica. I got into Cliff Burton, the early Metallica, 1983. I tried transcribing the popular bass lines like For Whom the Bell Tolls and Orion, all that stuff. I would get into fights if someone said Metallica was bad. So it was that kind of a thing. But I came out of that Metallica, Megadeth. Then it went over to bands like Incubus and Red Hot Chili Peppers, and that phase, that new metal funk phase. And then as I discovered more and more, then there was a very strong progressive rock phase. And I'm pretty sure Sudipto da shares the same feeling about progressive rock as I do. We have listened to a lot of progressive rock during different phases in our life, of course, because I'm younger to him. But I was into, I literally listened to a lot of progressive rock albums, like over and over and over. Like there was an album called Octopus by this band called Gentle Giant. And there's a track of that album called Boys in the Band. It starts with a coin, it falls down on a wooden floor and starts spinning. And it is one of the most well mixed and well recorded albums of all time. And in 1972, that they were making that kind of music. And there was this album called Tarkus by Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And there was Brain Salad Surgery. All these bands were just doing something unimaginable back in the 70s. And then it moved over to the 80s bands like Marillion, and then later on in the late 80s, Dream Theater, Porcupine Tree. Of course, Porcupine Tree were mostly post-rock. Post-rock in their early in the 90s.
Blackfield is also there. Blackfield.
Yeah. I listened to Blackfield much later on in the process, but and then there was a time when I was just intrigued by the big three of progressive rock, I would say, progressive rock metal, Porcupine Tree, Opeth, and Dream Theater. I was just glued to their music, especially Opeth, so different, so melancholic, so dystopian. I mean, it's absolute magic. And Damnation is still my favorite album of all time, I would say. It's my, there are a lot of people who just give it a couple of thoughts. What's your favorite album of all time? My favorite album of all time has to be Damnation by Opeth. And then I would have to give it a hard thought. If someone tells me to name my top 5, it would be an easy pick. The number 1, it would be Damnation. And after that, I would have to brainstorm. Oh, okay, that one, yeah, over there. And there would be second thoughts and stuff like that. But number 1 is Damnation for sure. Produced by Steven Wilson, and of course performed and recorded by Opeth.
That's sick.
A lot. I talked a lot.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I talked a lot.
Oh, no, you're good,
over
man.
to the rest of you.
No, it's okay. Yeah. Say Dave. Yeah.
So now I'm going to ask you guys some non-music questions. It's a good way for me to get to know you. I did this with the other bands I interviewed. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right, first one, favorite book.
Did I go-
Brida, Paulo Coelho, Brida.
For me, it would be
Others?
The Alchemist. I'm not too much into books. I hardly read any books, but for me, it would be Alchemist. And there's this
Anything by
one
Stephen
book
King.
which I left midway. That was The Diary of Dorian Gray. I think that's the name of the book. So
Others?
yeah, it was way too hard for me. It was way too hard for me to understand.
Okay, others, your favorite book.
Anything by
Theory of
Stephen King.
Everything by Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawkins.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Stephen Hawkins, what is the name of that book?
Theory
I-
of Everything.
Theory of Everything.
Theory of
right.
Everything.
Yeah, I read also. Yeah. Yeah. Great. All right.
It is.
I'm not a big reader. When it comes to reading, I'm mostly into comic books and stuff like that. But there was a book called Eat That Frog, which tells you about time management, and they metaphorically called frog eating to you just nail a task by eating a frog. That's how they convey you some tips. And I mean, by they I mean the author conveys you some daily stuff that you can do to stop procrastinating and get your job done. I'm really terrible, pathetic in terms of time manage. As far as time management is concerned, probably the worst in the band. So yeah, I'm trying to get better at it. But yeah, mostly comic books. Mostly comic books. Stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah. All right.
AJ, Tintin, and Joe Jet, Joko, and all the Marvel and DC stuff. There was another great book called The Inner Game of Music. That was another great book that
Right.
I read.
Never heard about that book. I'll read definitely about this.
Yeah, it's there was a book called The Inner Game of Tennis, and then the author, who wrote this, I'm really not good with the names of authors, but Inner Game of Music was taking that philosophy and turning it into the musical perspective.
Okay. All right. We'll look into it. Yeah. So before the next question, Dave, I just want to mention about your effort. I mean, regarding this post-rock promo and the other pages as well that you're managing. So it's commendable. It's really appreciable. I just want to say you thank you for doing this work. I mean, without any, I don't know what benefits you are getting, but we all are getting a lot of benefits out of your archive. So thank you so much for having us, first of all, and thank you so much putting our work in post-rock promo and all the other pages you are working under with different genres. So I just religiously followed your work and really appreciable and commendable. I mean, kudos to you for your work.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Okay, over to you. Yeah.
All right. If you had $1 million and you could donate it to any charity, what charity?
All right. So let me begin with that. Yeah, tough one. See, I am into a lot of charities. As you know, beside being just a musician, I am one educator over here. I'm a faculty of mathematics in one reputed organization at Kolkata. So, I have my NGOs and I have my all charities and purpose, because I think being human, you should, if you have something, you should look after your surrounding as well. So, $1 million, I mean, that's a pretty tough question, but I would definitely say, if you ask me, I would definitely give 50% of that money to different charities that I'm already associated with. Yeah, over to you guys.
At this point, I would.
Okay, go
Yeah.
on, Dipan.
At this point, there are like a lot of NGOs who are helping people to get oxygen and food and stuff like that for like guys who are affected by corona. So those NGOs are helping them to get all the foods, and so I think I would give them the money.
Same goes as.
Okay.
I would just donate it to cancer research. An uncle for cancer, so that was just like really hard. So yeah, I would donate it to cancer research.
Okay.
And keep a little bit for me also, Yes, yeah.
Definitely, I said 50%. I didn't say the whole money. I said 50%. And what about Shotri?
No, I thought the question was about donating. I mean, you had $1 million and you had to donate it. So I'll
The full one. I saw to
answer-
charity. Yeah.
I would answer in that perspective. So yeah, of course, Deepan and Shudiptoda, they gave a pretty reasonable answer. But I would go back from the COVID scenario. I would assume that there's no COVID scenario around. Suppose it's 2018 and I got $1 million. I would, probably provide 70% of it to organizations who look after stray dogs. And even though there are a lot of organizations and charitable organizations over here who look after stray dogs, I have been there. The infrastructure could have been a lot better. There are a lot of you can do this, you cannot do that. We cannot take more than n number of dogs, which is totally fine. But I would definitely like the infrastructure to be better. And the rest of the 30%, I would donate to some music conservatory who are teaching music to underprivileged children. So there are only a few. I'm not really, well versed with such music conservatories, but I heard that there was this music conservatory in South India. If I'm not wrong, Mr. Rahman was running it, and he was actually leading, underprivileged children to play the strings and all the orchestral instruments, and that's a wonderful thing to do, and I would probably do that. So 70-30.
So Shotruk is the only wise person in our band. Please remember, we will keep something, but he won't. That's
no,
great.
I mean, I thought it was about donating it.
Maybe I was wrong. Yeah. Whole
100% of it.
100% of. Yeah. Over to you, Dev. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, guys. Last question. What are some places in India that visitors should check out?
A lot, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have everything
All-
from mountains to beaches, from
all
deserts.
of North Bengal, everything around the Himalayas, though we haven't been there. Mr. Sudipta Paul over there, he's a big time traveler, and he loves exploring the hills and mountains. In
I can
every 3
name.
months or 2
Yeah.
months.
Yeah. Right.
he
Yeah.
would
We
be
can
in the
name
hills.
few. Yeah. Tell. Shudipta.
So
Ladakh,
if you come,
Ladakh.
yeah,
Himachal.
if you come to our state, then I would probably suggest you to visit Sandakphu and Falut.
Okay. A couple of names are there, so it would be easy for Dave to relate. So Goa is one place in India, as he mentioned about India. Himachal Pradesh, and there you can visit in West Bengal. They have mentioned some places like Sandakphu, Falut. These are all north part of our state. So it's called Darjeeling, Kalimpong, or Sikkim is the place. We always go to Sikkim for our band shoot. This is a very beautiful hilly area, so you can go over there. So there are a lot. India definitely, it's culture in unity and diversity, and in respect to culture as well. So there are a lot of places that you can go really, and these are beautiful. All the beautiful
But
places
to be
are
honest,
to visit.
like India, you can go from north to south, east to west. You can find
Exactly.
everything from
Yeah,
desert,
right.
mountains to like everything
Sea
from
and
rivers to
ocean.
sea and everything.
Yeah.
Like you can go to Somnath Dwarika to see the the temples they had made from there's a temple that is made out of one rock, just one rock. It's around 100 feet tall.
Yeah.
It's just made out of one rock. It's an amazing thing. You can go to nature like mountains. You can go to Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh. You can go to
Of
Rajasthan.
course.
There are some the blue city.
Very
Jaipur.
good
Looks
country
beautiful
to
and-
travel, and a lot
Yes,
of people
yes.
are there from outer part of world, from western part, so they come, always come to visit India just to see all of these heritages, just to discover the heritages. So it's a place of
Absolutely,
heritage and
absolutely.
culture. Yeah, India basically.
So
Yeah.
this is one
Absolutely, the
country where you
thing-
can travel cost effectively. You
Mhm.
don't have to
Yeah,
spend
absolutely.
a
I
lot
was
of money
just about
to
to say that.
travel to. Yeah, you don't have to
Right.
pay a lot of money to go to places
Yeah.
and see different stuff.
And the other astonishing thing about India is the diversity. Every 100 kilometers apart, people eat something else, people wear something else, people talk in a different language.
Different.
The terrain is different. I mean, there's a lot of diversity around this country, and of course, like Dipan said, it's very cost effective. You can get gurudwaras everywhere if you are running short on a budget, and the Sikhs, as far as the Sikh, by Sikh I mean the Punjabis are concerned, they're incredible people. They are all around the world helping others, and it's a superb atmosphere in gurudwaras. So
If you're planning, Dave, then you should contact us. Definitely, we'll be the responsible
Don't-
person for you.
Don't
worry.
come now.
Definitely
as
It's
not.
a
Absolutely.
devastating scenario.
As soon as
Devastating
possible,
scenario.
I'll be over there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Please do visit us. Yeah, most welcome.
Well, I really appreciate you guys coming on and chatting up a little bit. I appreciate you guys supporting me in post rock promo.
Definitely,
thank
definitely.
you so
Thank
much
you
for
so much
calling
for
us.
having us. Yeah, thank you so much for
Thank you so
You
much for
guys have
having us.
a great night, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah,
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 absolutely,
definitely. Thank you so
absolutely.
much,
Hope
Dev.
so,
Thank you
man.
for having us. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you for having us.
See ya.
Cheers, cheers.